Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike McDonald. I'm the CEO and president of Kidventure Camps, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today for the latest in our live streams. This one, all about Explorers, which is our school age summer day camp program, entering first grade through entering fifth grade. And really, the Explorer program is the biggest part of Kidventure Day Camp program. It's kind of the heart and soul of what we do. We have discovers, we have leads, and man, those school age kids just have an amazing time during summer camp. And we're going to talk all about what that looks like today. But luckily, I'm not going to talk about all about it. I brought the real experts in to talk about it today. So everybody, I'd like to first introduce Nada Galan. She's the summer camps coordinator for Kidventure. Nada, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this one. We did Discovers yesterday. We got to talk about the little ones, the threes, fours, and fives. I love that. And today we get to bring you back in to talk about the Explorers. What is it about Explorers you're so excited about? Give me that.
Field trips. I'm excited for field trips this summer. It's one of my favorite things to do with our Explorer campers, so I'm excited for that
I
this
mean, it's
summer.
definitely one of their most
Mhm.
popular things that they do for sure. So we'll get to field trips among other things too. Also joining us today is the legendary Nicole Davis, DFW coordinator and overnight camp coordinator too for Kidventure. How are you doing, Nicole?
Good, Mike. How are you? Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Well, we love having you on. You're a wealth of information, and bring us up to speed on the baby. Come on, what's going on there?
We're a toddler now, fast approaching terrible twos.
Oh,
In a month, she'll be two. So she's running the house.
yes.
So that's great. Super excited for her to be in camp next summer. But it's a lot of fun being on this side of it now as a parent and definitely a whole new perspective for camp.
Definitely gives you a new perspective, right? So she's sleeping 8 hours a night pretty easily, huh?
Almost 12. I mean, we were,
No,
knock on
stop.
wood, very lucky from the beginning. About like 4 months, she was sleeping through the night.
Are you
So
serious?
I don't know where we won the lottery with that, but very lucky. The next one, we will probably not be as lucky for sure. So
I had four kids, and I don't think one of them slept through the night. I can only dream of what that would have been like. So, congratulations. Hope that streak still continues for you, by the way. All right,
thanks.
you guys, thank you all for being on this panel today to talk about Explorers. I don't want to dive right into it, okay? Now, before we get going, this is being recorded. So if you missed it, we're going to put it on Facebook. It lives on the YouTube channel, but really the easiest place to kind of watch it is at the Kidventure website. Under Parent Resources, we have a link there called Webinars. And you can watch not only this one, but anything that's been pre-recorded or will be recorded in the future. It's a great place to see it live, and it's a great repository for that resource when you want to go back and look on any of our live streams that are recorded that have to do with field trips or first day of camp or whatever it might be. We will get to a Q&A at the very end. So if you have a question, don't wait until the very end. Remember it. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and it'll pop up for us. We'll slide it over, and when we get to the Q&A section, we'll address that question. Okay. Here we go, you guys. I'm going to put you on the side here, and let's talk about our agenda. So we're going to start with a little video by Cheyenne, and she's going to kind of explain the Explore program to us. We're going to go into the basics of Explorers, ages, times. We'll talk about the philosophy and goals of that program, which is really fundamental to anything and everything that we do at Kidventure. We'll talk about the camp day, dive into curriculum. You get to see a little bit about what we actually do in camp. We're a very active camp program. We do not do screens at camp. That's not about what we are. We are about learning and growing and moving and exploring our world, and we'll talk a lot about that. A little bit about what's new for 2026, and I'll dive into some stuff on registration. And then what's coming to camp. And then we'll talk a little bit about what I think is probably one of the most important parts of your child's camp experience, and that's the camp team. That's where we put our greatest amount of resources and time and energy is into our camp team, and for good reason, because it's the most important part of your child's experience at camp. And then we'll finish off with some Q&A. Slide your questions over, answer those, and take care of that. All right, are y'all ready for this? All right, here we go. Let's get going, y'all.
At Kidventure, we believe camp should be a place where children experience new horizons, build lasting friendships, and cultivate a strong sense of self-confidence. That's the heart of our program. Created for our campers entering first grade through fifth grade, the Explorer program is designed for maximum engagement, fun, and personal growth. Campers are grouped by age to ensure a tailored and meaningful experience for all. Each day is filled with diverse, exciting activities that inspire creativity, foster learning, and encourage collaboration in a supportive and dynamic environment.
I mean, that kind of sums it up pretty well. Cheyenne, thank you for that. Let's go over the basics. And I think for this, I want to sort of turn it over to Nada. Nada, I think what she was talking about the engagement and the reason we do camp and the focus of camp. Talk to us first about that. What is the Explorer program all about?
Yeah, so she hit it right on. So it's more facilitating with them, building their self-esteem, collaboration with their core, with their peers at camp, right? So we try to be purposeful and put new activities to where they collaborate, socialize with other people, grow, try new things, and really engage with the people around them. So that's really our focus and goal, right? How can we build the self-esteem of our campers?
Yeah, I think what you're saying there is really true, and especially when you're using the words purposeful. Like we're more concerned about the outcomes of camp than we really are about camp in itself. Um, the goal of camp, right, should be to connect kids, right, to bring us all together, to have this experience that is summer camp. But we know, right, that opportunity is really powerful if it's done in the right way, right? And I think one of the ways you do that is you figure out to yourself, what is it I want our kids to walk away from camp with, right? And we at Kidventure we call those outcomes, right? And those outcomes are a kid is more self-confident, a kid that's maybe a little more courageous, a kid that's a little more independent, a kid that understands how to kind of foster relationships, make friends, right? Those are the kind of things in life, the skills that are going to provide that child with success all throughout life. We just simply bake it into everything that we do, right? Um, and that's really what Kidventure is all about. Now, Nicole, talk to us about the details of camp. How does the logistics of camp? What does that look like for our parents?
Yeah, so our explorers, our red shirts, as we like to call them, will come to camp Monday through Friday, excluding the week of Juneteenth. The rest of our camp days are Monday through Friday. Camp hours are 8 to 3 with the option for families to add extended post care from 3 to 6. A big convenience for our families. And also, many kids kind of hear about it in the beginning and just ask to stay at camp later because it's extra fun and engagement with their friends and their counselors. But it made in mind to be flexible for our families as well. Our ratio for our Explorers program is 1 to 10. That means one counselor per 10 kids. We're very intentional about our small group time. And that's the most important relationship at camp is the relationship with their counselor and allowing it to be more applicable for them to have that one-on-one relationship. They will know their camper's name. They will know their counselor's name. When we rotate, we'll combine some groups. So it'll be 2 counselors per 20 kids. And group by age. We recognize that a first grader and a fifth grader are at different stages developmentally. And so we make sure, although they're doing similar activities, we adapt and coach our wonderful staff on making those activities more age appropriate and ultimately setting them up for success. There's no point in doing activities that, aren't reaching that type of level of engagement that those kids want and need. So we make sure to scale those activities to make sure they're age appropriate.
Plus, it's just not
we'll,
cool for a fifth grader to be with a first grader, right? I mean, who wants to do
absolutely.
that? Right?
And we go on a weekly field trip once a week. Most days it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday, depending on your camp location. A wide variety of field trips, whether that's the museum or a water park. Very intentional too. All the coordinators from all cities, we tour the field trips, making sure that they're safe and engaging for our kids and a great opportunity and very purposeful for them.
It's awesome. Yeah. I think it's real important to emphasize once again that connection between the counselor and the kids, right? You know, you talk about that small group time, right? I think that's where a lot of the magic happens at camp, is in that small group, because man, that counselor um, creates this really great bond with those kids. You know, those kids get to know each other. They foster friendships. Those kids know that counselor, right? And that counselor stays with that group of kids the entire week. They rotate with them, right? And some places, some camps, you know, the kids rotate to counselors, right? Because one counselor might be doing art and another one might be doing athletics or whatever it might be. We think that the importance of having that same counselor go with those kids at all times, no matter where they go, trumps anything else, because of safety, number one, and two, because of the continuity and consistency of that relationship with those kids. And I think that's really important to sort of note. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the goals, Nada. Our goals for the program, what are those?
So overall goals for Mike, for the explorers is safety, right? Safety is our number one priority. Like Nicole mentioned, is field trips. We go look at them, make sure it's safe. Buses, we tour them, make sure everything is safe for our kids, and everything's purposeful and intentional, right? The small group time. How are we going to be spending that small group time? How can we foster communication during that time? And like Mike mentioned earlier, camp is about outcomes. So whether we get somebody trying something new every week, right? How did that make them feel in that moment? Cheering them on. So we also try to practice character traits. So whether that's respect, friendship, right, honesty. So we try to implement that through the camp day, and that's purposeful, with intention. And it's fun and it's active, right? So something, our kids are not sitting, we're actively moving from room to room, playing games, and all while we're playing game, it's intentional, right? To teach and model character. You know, we if we lose a game, you know, what is the outcome out of that? Being good sportsmanships, right? Cheering on for the other team, cheering on for our fellow campers. So everything's intentional with our programs, especially our Explorer program.
Yeah. Uh, we are an active camp program. We do not sit behind screens. We do not use technology. It's not what we do. And I promise, one of the best things about Kidventure is your child will sleep really hard every night they come home from camp. It's one of the benefits of camp that you certainly can't pay for. All right. All right. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the camp day. Okay. Um, this is kind of like a 30,000-foot view of camp, right? So all of our camps are 8 to 3, like Nicole mentioned, and then we have post camp from 3 to 6. Give us the sense, run us through, Nicole, kind of in general. I know you're not going to nail down every 20-minute rotation or 30-minute rotation, but talk to us about, in general, what does the day, the ebb and the flow of day look like at a Kidventure camp day?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kick off Carline at 7:45. Music's going. It's curbside, drop off and pick up. So the director, counselors will greet you at your car. Monday morning we'll be, confirming emergency contacts, session add-ons such as post camp and catered lunch, and then we're walking them into camp. We're getting the day going. I know that might be harder from some parents, but our staff greets it with compassion. It makes that transition easier and builds that connection off the bat. And then we'll play some type of organized activity before opening ceremonies, whether that be centers that the kids can choose from or some type of camp game. And then we'll kick off the day with opening ceremonies, kind of like a pep rally, so to speak. We will sing silly songs. We'll do camper and counselor challenges to kind of break the ice and get the day started. We'll also go over expectations, really big about setting kids up for success. And so what our goals are at camp, what our rules are at camp. So everyone kind of has a clear understanding of how they can make their day most successful. And then we will go into small group time. We have set questions. They'll make banners as a group, really where that connection builds and grows. And it's wonderful to see the first small group time on Monday and then where it progresses to Friday, and just that connection that's built and that camaraderie and sense of community that we're really all about at Kidventure. Then we'll go into morning rotations, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the campsite or activity. There are a wide array of options for our directors to choose from. from, whether that's an explorative activity or creative, a physical activity. We're mindful of the heat, right? It's Texas, it's the summer. So any outdoor activities we do try to do in the morning when it's a little bit cooler. But truly, every day they come to camp, although we follow a similar schedule, they're doing different activities, and it feels as if they're walking into a different camp every day. Then we'll go into lunch. We'll have lunch all together. The counselors will eat with the kids. Really, it's just another time of connection and also making sure campers are eating. We do a lot of fun things at camp, and it's kind of go, 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 right? And you're talking with your friends, and you might not realize that you haven't touched your lunch yet. So our staff members are also making sure we're reminding and engaging with them during that time. Then we'll go to a midday rally, similar to morning and closing ceremonies, excuse me, but a little bit more scaled down, just kind of resetting and getting the energy kind of back up for the rest of the camp day. We'll do character trait awards during that time, where we have set character traits throughout the week. It's an opportunity for a counselor to give that recognition to one of their campers that they saw exemplifying that character trait in the morning. And then we'll do afternoon rotations and activities. We'll go to closing ceremonies. Definitely some pies in the face. We'll do tickets where the kids will get to go to the prize box at least once a week. And then we'll go into that curbside drop off. Pick up at the end of the day, and then the other campers will transition to post camp. And post camp again is very intentional. We have set curriculum for there, so making sure that time is engaging for well. I think a lot of times it's kind of similar to after school. We like to say it's an afterthought, but we want to make sure that that time is truly an extension of camp and it is an engaging and enriching time for them as well.
It's great. You did a great job trying to give us an overview of a camp day. And of course, for explorers, if it's a field trip day, kind of modify that for us a little bit. Let us know what that schedule looks like, Nicole.
Yeah, so we'll make sure camp day really kicks off at 8 a.m. Some field trips we do have to leave a little bit sooner than later, so we'll make sure to notify you in the app and whatnot. But the kids will transition in from morning drop off. We'll have an opening ceremonies. That time really on field trip days is kind of used to go over the field trip schedule, the expectations, kind of where we're going, what the kids can expect. They'll find their buddy. We like to do field trip buddies, so they'll have a bus buddy. For safety and also for another opportunity for connection. A lot of our field trips will leave between 9 and 10. Some campsites might be 8:45, just depending on your city and what the field trip is for that week. Then we will go to the field trip anywhere between, 2 to 4 hours, just depending on where we're going for that week. And then we'll either, sometimes we eat lunch on the bus, sometimes we'll eat lunch there. We'll make sure that all the kids have their water bottles, their lunch boxes, everything that needs to go on the bus. We'll be going with them because we'll be doing lunch there. And then we'll come back. Hopefully we have a longer closing ceremony. Sometimes it has to be a little rush to make it to Carline in case we hit traffic, but we communicate that to families if it is something that we might be running in a few minutes before Carline, but we like to communicate with families if that does happen.
Super. Thank you for adding that on. Speaking of curriculum, we sort of have a very, over 3 decades of running summer camp, you develop a curriculum, and in our case, one that we feel really addresses the needs of any growing child, right? And for us, that's called their cornerstones. We feel like there are 4 areas of a child's growth and development that should be addressed in a curriculum. And we break it down like this. Creativity is one of those. We think kids need the opportunity to engage and experience the creative side of their brain, right? Physical activity, obviously, how we move our body in space, right? The third is exploration, different than creativity, making independent decisions, taking some risks, trying new things. This is all part of the exploration process. And then finally, the fourth is reflection, which I think is very underrated, by the way, and not used very much today. I think a lot of our kids just end up doing and going and never reflecting on what they did. Reflection is an important part of a child's natural growth and maturation. The opportunity to be able to look back on what we did, reflect on why we did that. That might take the form of yoga, ribbon ceremony, team building, small group discussion. Is certainly a part of the Kidventure the Kidventure curriculum. And so those are kind of the 4 areas, and everything that we do is going to fall under one of those 4 areas. And when we build our curriculum, we balance those 4 cornerstones. We build in. We're not heavy on physical activity, heavy on creativity, exploration, reflection. We're balanced throughout each one of those. And we really take a very holistic approach to how we design our curriculum and the things that we offer our kids. And we can share some of that stuff with you. I think I've got some pictures here I kind of want to go over with you. There we go. So sports and camp games, art and science, field trip we talked a little bit about. We do archery. We do water games. We do special events and parties. We do rock climbing. We bring out our own rock climbing walls, and we do team building. Those are some of the many things that we do at camp, and I'd just sort of like to share some images with you so you can see kind of what opening ceremonies is like, right? It's a giant pep rally. Here's our kids rock climbing. We bring rock climbing walls out. They love it, obviously. Athletics and camp games, I mean, you name it, we do it. You know, there's the traditional stuff that you think of when you think of camp, but we bring in some of these crazy wild games that kids never play anyplace else, but they play them at Kidventure. Let's see if I have a few more here. Camp awards, we're big on awards. We believe in awarding kids for things that they're doing a great job at, reinforcing that kind of behavior, whether that's through the red ticket system or whether that's through the ribbon ceremony. Every Friday, every counselor and their group of kids, those kids get awarded a ribbon for something about what they did that week. Maybe they were the best helper of the week, or they were just the best dancer, or, you know, this is Mr. Athletic or Mrs. Sunshine, whatever it was. We believe in acknowledging our kids for their efforts. Team building is a big part of what we do. We have a whole separate team called the Adventure Crew that comes to camp, and they bring a variety of team building games for our kids. Why? Because it's important that we teach trust, cooperation, problem solving, teamwork, all those things. If our kids don't learn that when they're young, they have a really challenging time learning that when they're older. And that's also a big part of our program. I think I might have one more picture. Art and science, field trips. Am I missing anything, you guys?
I think something that's
Silent disco.
really exclusive to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. We also have silent disco for all of our programs. So that's
Oh, yeah.
something that's become very, very popular over the past 2 summers. So they'll have these headphones on, and every station will have different music. So that's something that we brought on for the past 2 summers now, and it's one of their favorite
It is one of the
activities.
it is one of the funniest things to walk into a gym and there's like 150 kids and staff all dancing and having this time of
No
their life,
noise.
and it's completely silent. Love it. You were going to say, Nicole, I think you were going to say something else.
The Explorers also do a Curriculum Plus project, which is a little bit
Mhm.
exclusive to their age group, different from
Right.
the Discovers, where they get an opportunity to work on a project that kind of encapsulates all of our different cornerstones. They'll work on it for 2, 3, maybe 4 days out of the week. So it's fun to see them do that activity independently, but also work with their peers and problem solve and see how they can continue to, work on the steps but make it creative in their own. And also, it's nice as a parent to not be sent home with like 20 different crafts in a day. So they'll come home with one nice project at the end of the week. I'm not
Right.
saying they won't come home with probably hundreds of friendship bracelets and beaded animals, but they get very excited for the project of the week.
There you go. Great job. Thank you all for the addition there too. All right. So let's turn our attention to kind of coming to camp, right? I mean, for a lot of people who've never been to Kidventure, this might be kind of a little bit of a mystery. We communicate really well with our families. So when you sign up for camp at a specific campsite, you're going to get a camp newsletter on the Thursday before every week you're attending. That newsletter is kind of like the go-to for anything like drop-off, address, the activities for that week. Everything's going to be included in that. That is a digital newsletter that you can see on your phone and you can swipe through. It's really easy. It's got links on there to medical dosage forms or any kind of like anything else you might need. It's going to be in there. Okay. Including the link to the app, because one of the things that our parents are required to download is the Kidventure app. We have our own app. That app serves many purposes. One purpose is it is for checkout. it will create a unique QR code for your family. And so when you pull up at pickup, you'll just hold that QR code. They'll take a snap picture of that. They'll be able to safely and appropriately check your child back to you at the end of the day. But for drop off, it's curbside, like the girls said. Our parents don't come into camp. Our staff is out front. We're going to greet you. We're going to talk to you. We're going to make sure everything's in order, answer your questions. We're going to escort your child into camp. We're going to do it compassionately and fun. Most kids are just ready to go. Some kids, it's going to be hard. You know what I mean? And we're really good at encouraging them to come into camp. And you'll find that if you have one of those kids that's nervous, by day 2 on Tuesday, they're raring to go to get out of the car. I promise you that. That's also on Monday, that time to ensure that any meds are handed off to the director with medical dosage form. Any child taking medications during camp, those medications have to be delivered to the director in their original container with a medical dosage form, which we have, that you can link to and complete for us. Okay, that's kind of drop off. Real easy. Once in camp, Nada, talk to us about that, how that works once they get in there.
Yeah, so kind of how what Nicole mentioned earlier, once they get into camp, we'll have some kind of like center type set up for them so they can kind of go and, transition into that. From there, they'll get split into their groups with their counselors. And that is their group for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. Again, very important for our campers that they have consistency all throughout the week, all throughout the summer. So they'll split into their small group. They'll participate in opening ceremonies. They'll go straight into their rotations, and they have regular scheduled restroom breaks, especially with our young first graders that are transitioning from kindergarten to first grade. That scheduled restroom break is very important. And then constantly bringing water breaks. We are moving active camp. We're outside, we're playing games, we're dancing. So recommend bringing a refillable water bottle. We'll have coolers with water. So reminding our campers that they need to be drinking water at all times. They'll also have snack in the morning with their small groups. You're welcome to bring whatever snack your camper eats. We'll have snacks as well on site. But if you're a particular picky camper and you have a preference on their snack, pack that in their lunch bag. We'll eat lunch together. All cities offered catered lunch. So you can go to the city specific page. You can choose to buy catered lunch. We'll eat lunch together. And then at the end of the day, we'll have closing ceremonies. If they're in the carpool at 3 o'clock, we'll escort them to your car. And same thing with post camp. Post camp is also a curbside pickup. At post camp, what you'll see is every camp location will have an A frame, and this is across all 3 cities. They'll have an A frame. It's either the color of yellow or orange. In the A frame, they'll have a phone number you can call or text. You can say, "I'm here for Nicole," and a camp director or a camp counselor will bring your camper right out, scan the QR code, and load your camper into the car.
There you go. Pretty easy. Thank you very much for that. What to wear and pack? It's camp. Comfortable athletic wear and their Explore Camp shirt. All of our kids are required to wear their camp shirt to camp. We do this for 2 reasons. The first, most important, is safety. We want to designate exactly who our kids are at all times. The second is for camaraderie and team. We're a camp team. And so those camp shirts, they're purchased when registration takes place. They're always available for you. You can always get them. I know there's like a gray market of shirts out there where people trade shirts down and trade shirts up, that kind of thing like that. It's a big deal after 32 years of doing camp. Tennis shoes, please, no sandals, no Crocs, no flip-flops. Lunch, as Nada mentioned, you have the option to bring your own lunch or order it off the catered lunch menu. It's very important to me that we provide our kids with healthy, whole, good foods for lunch. Our three different caterers in all 3 cities fit the bill when it comes to that. Foods that kids love, but foods that are healthy, that are not processed. So the lunch option is a great one, you guys, if you're interested in that kind of thing. Filled water bottle. We always want them to bring a water bottle, big mouth, so we can dump water in there and ice, that kind of thing like that. Sunscreen. Come to camp with sunscreen on already. We can reapply depending on what we're doing, but we really want you to come and get them into their sunscreen before you get to camp. And then all items in a backpack, label everything. I think my mom still labeled my stuff, you guys, when I was in college. I still had like name tags in my underwear and stuff. I mean, I just like she never stopped labeling. It's like I don't know what the deal was. But anyway, that's my mom though, you know. So anyway, anything I forgot about wearing, what to wear, pack to camp?
So camp shirts right now are currently on sale for $12.
Oh yeah.
After May 15th, I think, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
They bump up to to $15. So get your camp shirts early. We'll deliver to them at your camp location, so you don't have to come to the office if you order from this point on till essentially the first day of camp. We'll have them ready for you that first day. Anything during the week of camp, it might give a little bit of a delayed delivery, but if you order now, you'll get them on your first day of camp.
Yeah, good call on that.
Mhm.
I mentioned the camp app earlier. You can download that from Google Play or from the App Store, and it is required because it is the way we check out our kids. But also as importantly, I think it provides some other opportunities for you. Like we take pictures during camp, we post those pictures to your app. You are delivered those pictures for only your kids at your campsite for that week. Okay. You're not going to get a bunch of pictures from other camps, just specifically your campsite for that specific week. Okay, good to note that. And parents love to check in. They see pictures. Please don't wait around your phone all day long for those pictures because a lot of those don't get uploaded till the end of the day. But they're fun to get, and you get to see what we're doing at camp. The other thing is we send notifications to you. Inclement weather, you know, I don't know, crazy sock day is tomorrow. Don't forget, you know, important things like crazy sock day. We'll send a notification home, you know, let you know. Field trip is tomorrow. Don't forget. Don't be late. That kind of stuff like that. And then you can also register from the app as well, too, as well. This year is a little bit different. We added the financial options on there, so you can add lunch through your app now. You can add merchandise through your app now. It's a little bit more convenient and a little bit better than it has been in the past. So that's the Kidventure app. All right. The other thing I wanted to say is the newsletter. This is an example of the newsletter. I mentioned this earlier, that you will have a newsletter specific to your camp week that you sign up for, or all camp weeks. We typically will have these emailed to you or texted to you through your app on a Thursday before the Monday you're attending. Okay. Note this. Everything you need is in the newsletter. And it's a great way for us to communicate with you. And then last but not least, everybody at Kidventure who comes to camp has a customer service rep that is assigned to them. A real human body, non-AI generated. They're warm, they're welcoming, they're kind, and their job is to help you with your account, answer questions about camp, you know, and take good care of you. Okay. So anytime that you want to pick up the phone and call them or email them, their information is also going to be in your newsletter. And so they're there for you. Okay. All right. All right. With that, I want to turn my attention to the camp team. I know I mentioned this earlier, and I still believe it. If you ask a camper in September after the summer's over what they remember most about Kidventure, 9 times out of 10, we know this because we poll, the kid's going to say the name of a counselor. And why is that? Okay, why wouldn't they say rock climbing or Gaga or the field trip to NASA or, you know, the silent disco party we had and I got a pie in my face? Okay, all those are valid reasons, right? But I think the most important part of your child's camp experience is their counselor and the relationships that they grow and foster at camp. Okay. And we really believe that the most important part from a safety standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, and from a growth and maturation and development standpoint is the quality of that counselor. So all of our staff are all adults. Okay. I will tell you that the vast majority of our team are teachers. They are education students, social workers. Why? Because they are people who are invested in the lives of kids. They want to make their career and their life part of the lives of kids. All right. We have great relationships with the University of Texas, with Texas A&M, with U of H, with Rice, and their education departments. We love to go there and recruit. because we want people who love kids, right? Everyone is first aid and CPR certified. In the state of Texas, if you run a summer camp, only one person has to be certified in first aid and CPR at a campsite. At Kidventure, since 1994, every single person is first aid and CPR certified, right? It's the only way we would do it. I believe that's the best opportunity we can have to keep our kids safe from a medical standpoint, right? Everybody has a national background check yearly. We operate in low ratios, right? When you look at our ratios, these are not low ratio. These are not the ratios that you're going to see at other camps, right? Why? Because we think our kids need to get more attention, right? It's a safer camp when it's a lower ratio. They have more opportunity for engagement and fostering relationships with lower ratios. All of our staff wear uniforms, all right? Not only do they wear a uniform, they wear a name tag. It's a big giant name tag. It hangs on their chest, and you'll see the front side of it has their name on it, so you know exactly who they are. But on the back side, what you don't see is a list of their campers, those 10 kids in their group, their names, their ages, and any special needs or allergies or anything like that. We've already done that before Monday. We've already prepped our staff on who those kids are. That way, when your kid walks through the door, they know exactly who your kid is, and they're in a position to take care of them appropriately. They've all had extensive training, and man, they all love sharing their time and talents with kids, right? Am I missing anything on our staff there?
No, I would say we are in our peak season for hiring. So if you have any special nannies in your family, or any special teachers that are currently working for your family, please send them to us. We would love to bring them on the team. So we are very intentional with our hiring. Like Mike mentioned, these are
Yeah.
people that love working with kids and worked with kids. So our hiring process is long, but it's intentional, right? We want the right people with our kids.
Yeah. And I can't stress it enough, you guys. And I've said this for years. Um, I would rather have a dusty field and a half blown up ball with really amazing people who love kids than have the best facilities in the world with all the amenities. And you have a counselor there that's just trying to have a job, a summer job. You know what I mean? One of those is going to produce a camp experience that's worthwhile and rewarding, right? And we choose to have both. Okay, so there's our team. I'm going to turn my attention to Q&A, but before we go to that, and I don't even know, once again, if you have comments, you can put those comments down, and we can bring those in. I want to talk a little bit about registration real quick. If you've not registered, there's still time to register. We don't have a deadline for registration per se, but camps fill, and when a camp fills, then you have the option to go on a wait list. Doesn't cost you anything to go on a wait list. But I would encourage anybody who gets to a week that does have a full week to get on the wait list, because people change their schedules, right? Vacation plans change. Grandma comes into town, whatever. They change, and we have an automatic waitlist system. So as soon as one of those gets canceled, the next one in line automatically triggers for you. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is, we've noticed after all these years, we have a core group of families that utilize Kidventure much more than anybody else, and I'm going to call that 6 or more weeks. And this year, we wanted to recognize that, and so we created Ollie's Circle, which is a loyalty program that is provided for families that have 6 or more weeks. And when I say 6 or more weeks, I don't mean 6 weeks per child. I mean 6 weeks total in your family account. That could be 6 weeks spread across 2 or 3 kids. When you hit that 6-week mark, it is going to trip a certain number of perks for you and your family. Free post-camp being one of those, which is a huge thing, because typically families that need 6 or more weeks of camp probably need post-camp because they're working, right? The next is priority registration the following season. So if you're in our Ollie's program this summer, next season you'll get the opportunity to register before anybody else. And when you have some sites that fill in the first hour or two, that's a big deal, right? And then the next is 10% off any additional weeks over 6 weeks. So that is the Ollie Circle. There's more information online about that. That is new for this year, so note that. If you're sitting at 4 weeks or 5 weeks, I'm not pushing you to sell, but I am kind of pushing you to sell because it's going to be worth it for you to get to 6 weeks, just for the post-camp alone if you utilize that, okay? And then the next thing is referral program. If you love Kidventure, spread the word. when you register, you're given a unique registration URL on your confirmation email. And if you share that with family and friends, and they register through that, you get a discount, you get a credit into your camp, and then they also get a credit into their camp as well too. So those are two ways to help you guys out with camp a little bit that we're really excited about. So, all right. I'm looking over on the comment section and I see no comments. And usually what that tells me is one of two things. One, no one watched this, or two, we did such a good job that we answered everybody's questions. All right.
Can we talk a little bit about locations?
Yeah, please. Let's go.
Yeah, in Austin, we have 9 camp locations with our Explore program. We brought on a couple of new sites. That's the Blaze School, Round Rock. If you're in the Round Rock Independent School District, we have 3 locations there. So please, go look on our websites. Houston, we have 14 different locations. And then in DFW, I have 5 and one more Adventure Camp, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that is our STEM camp. Piloted here in Houston last year, and it's going to move on to DFW. So we're super excited. If you have any questions, please look on the website. And then some of our locations are swim locations. So if you have swimmers in your family, they'll get swim tested. Again, information that's on their website. You can see what locations have pools, and they'll swim about 2 times out of the week.
There we go. Thank you for that. Yes. We do have a question that just popped up, and I threw it up there on the board. Are the field trips already decided on for the Houston KV camp locations? Nady, you want to take that one since that's right there front and center for you?
Yeah, so we're about 70% on our field trips. Most of them are on the website already. So whatever camp location you are at, you can go to that specific location and see the scheduled field trip. If it's not on there yet, we're still finalizing some numbers, contracts, and I'll say to be determined. The goal for all of us is to have all field trips posted before April 15th.
Yeah. Some of those are easy for us to get scheduled in. Some of them, they don't release schedules. And so we can't really nail those things down yet. But yeah, we understand that. And that's a big thing for parents. We do have a live stream coming up in April, May. I think I have it here in just a second. I'll go through it. And it's specifically about field trips, how we operate field trips. And where we go and what we do. So that is coming up. Great question, though, Grace. Thank you very much for giving us that. I certainly appreciate it. Any more questions anybody wants to throw up there? Feel free to do that right now. Certainly, if we don't get to your question, it's not like it can't get answered. All you got to do is pick up the phone or email us. We're here during business hours, and we love talking camp. So please feel free to do that. All right. So with that, oh yeah, here we go. Is there a way to see the wait list? Let me bring this in. I'm actually going to go back to Q&A here. Hang on a second. Let me add this to the broadcast. Okay. Is there a way to see the wait list? No, not visually on your end. You'll know that there's a wait list, but what a lot of people do is they'll just get on the wait list, then call Kira or call one of the CSRs and say, hey, where am I on the wait list, right? And if you're number 120 on the wait list, we're going to be really honest with you and tell you the chances are probably not good that you're going to get in. But if you're close, we'll let you know. We'll gauge that for you because we kind of got a good sense of, what percentage of kids end up moving their schedules around and changing, and we have spaces open up. Okay, so just call us up. We'll let you know exactly where you are on that wait list. Okay, but good question, Audrey. Thank you. Other questions? Every time I go, I feel like I'm fixing to get another one. So I try to pause a little bit more and then they're not there. Okay, there we go. All right. I hope you enjoy these, by the way. We do this because we're really trying to inform our family. It's also our families. It also gives you a chance to meet some of us, right? Who work on summer camp 12 months out of the year. So please let us know how we're doing on these and how we can improve. But we do have more coming up in the future. The next one, which is April 1st, is Leads Camp. So if you have a middle school kid entering 6th grade through entering 9th grade, we have that program, that live stream. We're going to talk all about leads. Field trips. This is a big attended one. So April 15th is what I was talking about. Field trips and KV Live. So field trips, we'll talk about field trips, kind of the buses that we take, the seat belts, where we go, how we do that, what's our protocol, and KV Live, which is our guests that come into camp for our Discover program, for example. So if that's of importance to you, make sure you tune in there. Preparing for your first day of camp. This is by far the most well-attended live stream that we have, May 6th. Especially if you're new to Kidventure, this is a great one because we'll talk about how do you get ready for camp? How do you pack for camp? What do you bring? What does that look like? What's drop off? How are we going to communicate with you? Sort of all the stuff that's going to make your experience at Kidventure day one go super smooth. So there's no hiccups that entire time. All right. And that's it. Okay.
Looks like we have a comment.
Is there another comment on there? Let me go back to Q&A and see if I can't pull that in.
Oh, it's about Lodge 88. I think it's good to know. Yes, Lodge 88 is one of our popular locations here in Houston. But whatever camp location you go to, whether it's in DFW, Austin, or Houston, we all have the same curriculum. So what we're doing in Houston week 1, DFW is also doing in week 1. So it kind of helps with parents. For Lodge 88 parents, we do have a new camp closer on 34th. It's called Camp Heritage. And it is filling up. So if you're on that Lodge wait list, if you want to get on Heritage, we can easily transfer you over to Lodge if a spot opens up.
Yes. Lodge 88 families, we love you very much. Thank you very much. We have a great time over there. And you're right, that one does fill up. There was one more. It's a comment or a question. Thanks for offering this. I have a first grader joining camp for the first time. Yes, I'm excited for him. My experience so far with registering and having questions answers has been great. Thank you for the comment. We really appreciate that very much. We take a lot of pride in the customer service outside of camp that we provide our families. So please let us know how we're doing. If there's anything that we can do to improve that too as well for you guys. We really care about you and want to make your experience with us great. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna pull us all sort of back together here a little bit. There we go. I don't know. Any closing comments, Nada, Nicole? Anything you want to say to our families?
We're excited. We plan summer all year long. So seeing the fruition of our work, right, and seeing campers finally come through is exciting and rewarding. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Nicole, anything you want to add to that?
Yes, I am tired of being at the office. I'm ready for camp to start and be at camp and play Gaga
It's like
ball
let me
and get tied to the
kind of
face.
explain that. Let me explain that to people. When you hire summer camp people, they're a particular breed of people. They want to be like in a volleyball or a dodgeball game. They want to be like water guns in hand and pies in the other hand. And to put them in an office and set them behind a laptop is probably one of the hardest things for them to have to do. So when it comes time for opening day of summer camp, the office is like a ghost town there at camp. So, but I love that. Yes, I know. I can't wait. And it's going to happen here pretty soon. So I honestly, I don't feel like summer camp has ever been needed more than now. And I just think it offers an opportunity for our kids to gain something they can't get in school, they can't get at home. And it's really at the end of the day about connection, right? It's getting our kids off behind screens, connecting with one another, sharing an adventure and creating opportunities for friendship and connection in that process. So I'm happy to be able to continue to do that after 32 years. So there you go. Thank you guys very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. Once again, if at kidventure.com, under parent resources at the top navigation, you'll find webinars. This is where you'll find all of these. They will be recorded. We store them there, at least for the season. If you have any questions, reach out to us by email or by phone, and we're happy to help you out there too. Thank you guys very much. And hopefully we'll see you soon. We'll see you this summer for sure. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.